For quality coaching purposes, all of our calls are recorded. If this is a fire, police, or medical emergency, please hang up and call 911. Your personal information may be required by our divisional partners and representatives working on their behalf to proceed with this request. Your information is collected under the City of Toronto Act 2006 and by Law 878-2004. 311 Toronto is committed to providing the best service possible to all customers. We remind callers that aggressive behavior, harassment, or coarse language will not be tolerated and may lead to ending the call interaction, if necessary. Please listen carefully to the following options as our menu options have changed. For property tax and utility bills, press 1. For noise, press 2. For water, press 3. For all other inquiries, press 9 or hold for the next available customer service representative. To repeat these options, all of our customer service representatives are currently assisting other callers. Please hold and we will answer your call as quickly as possible. Please select your music genre featuring songs from Toronto artists.
Was it hard to love you? Didn't have to try. Was it hard to love you? Didn't have to try. Held you for a little while. My, oh my, oh my. Held you for a little while. My, oh my, oh my. When I heard oh, love, don't you blame yourself for the duty you better always stand to come touch the time to our heart with time. You're like all night. Very well. Mine. So I'll let you go. Hope you'll always know your love for my life. Remember me well.
Thank you for calling 311 Toronto. My name is Nixon, and how may I help you?
Hi, I just phoned in about a human rights violation, and they gave me the number of someone whose machine I got, and then I called 911 because this human rights violation is happening in real time right now, and they told me that human rights violations are not an emergency. Is that true? That human rights violations are not considered an emergency in the city of Toronto?
Hold on. They say human rights violation is not considered an emergency?
That's what they said at 911.
So, yeah, well, you should dial the non-emergency.
No, I'm asking at Lamport Stadium, they're evicting everybody despite passing a human rights approach motion. It's not a human rights approach. It's in violation of human rights. And I'll take it up with the UN if this doesn't work.
Okay, so sorry, can we slow down a little bit?
Yep.
I do want to help you. I just need to understand the situation.
Sure.
Is that the issue?
There's a mass eviction at Lamport Stadium. I'm on my way there now.
Okay, mass eviction at a stadium.
Sorry?
At a stadium.
At Lamport Stadium, yeah.
Okay.
They did Alexandra Park yesterday, and they did Bellwood like 3 weeks ago.
When you're saying an eviction, so what's happening? Why are people getting evicted from the premises?
Because the city is using force instead of compassion, even though they passed a motion saying they would take a human rights approach.
Okay, but can you understand why it's not an emergency, right? So
what? No, it's happening right now. Wait. Well, the reason I'm voting for this particular call is to find out if it's true, what I was told at 911, that human rights are not considered human rights violations are not considered an emergency in Toronto. Is it true? Or is it an emergency if someone's human rights are being violated right now?
Yeah, but
There's got to be one or the other, right?
Okay, but
And like some human rights are emergencies, and other human rights aren't.
What human rights are being violated? I'm trying to help you, but I need more information, right?
The human rights. So the city passed a motion that they would take a human rights approach to dealing with encampments, and they're violating that human rights approach right now.
It's encampment.
Yeah. Yeah, and they said we'll take a human rights approach. That's not what they're doing. So I'm reporting a human rights violation right now.
Well, you have two options. You can contact if it's happening in real time.
Yes, that's why I called 911.
It's not a 911 call.
But it's an emergency that people's human rights are being violated. Especially when the city said they weren't going to do that.
Okay, so then let me ask you this now. So what is your suggestion? Right?
That they stop it.
911.
That they stop it so they don't have a lawsuit on their hands.
Right. So the issue here is you're saying
they should stop it right away.
Okay.
Not after a long. Sorry?
So you're saying a human rights violation are being done by the Toronto police? Is that what it is? Okay.
And
so
private security.
Okay,
they arrested journalists yesterday. Do you understand?
Yeah, you need to call the human rights office.
I did, but they're not there, and it's happening right now. I just got a machine. I need someone who's there right now.
If you contacted the police and that's what they told you, because they're the ones that would look into it, then the only thing you could do is contact the non-emergency. You're telling me it's not an emergency, so contact the non-emergency.
No, I'm phoning you for information about the laws that govern the city, for legal information as a citizen, to find out if it's true or false. What I was told.
Okay, I don't want to give you any misinformation, so you need to call the human rights office.
You tell me the city can't tell me this. So do the councillors know whether it's considered an emergency to violate human rights?
There's a whole department or division dedicated to that. So if it is a human rights can you allow me to speak, please? If it's a human rights violation, they'll be able to confirm that for you. So
no, they can't because they didn't answer.
Give them a call. If
they didn't
not
answer.
Answering right now, you need it.
It's happening right now. They're not answering right now.
Okay, so and I can keep telling you, you could contact the non-emergency police line.
No, it's an emergency. Why would I phone non-emergency if there's something that's happening right now?
You're telling me it's an emergency. You contacted 911, which is the emergency line to call, right? And they told you it's not an emergency. So
which I think is not true.
Right. So you're disputing what they're saying.
No,
right?
I'm finding out if it's even legally. It's morally wrong, obviously, and legally it's probably wrong too.
Yeah, I'm not in the human. I'm not in the human rights division. So
is there a way I can escalate this call to someone in the city?
Sure.
Yeah, I'd like to escalate the call, please. This is going down right now.
Just a moment.
Is there a way to Lamport? Yeah. Okay, thank you. God's Dufferin, right, thank you. Hi.
Hey, thanks for your patience.
No problem.
I have a coordinator here, Swan, and she'll help you.
Sorry, can you say that again? I didn't quite catch that.
I have a coordinator on the line. She'll take over the call.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, hi, my name is Cadet. I'm one of the coordinators. Who am I speaking with?
This is Adam Golding, ADAMGOLDING.
Okay, hi, Adam. You were having some concerns about the
Human rights violation at Lamport Stadium that's currently going on.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The city passed a human rights approach to encampments, and I would submit they're contradicting their own motion. So it's not actually, the act of a democratically elected body at this point. The human rights approach contradicts both what they're doing and the zero encampment policy that they passed. And I will take this to the UN if this doesn't work.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And I was advised by the CSR that you had contacted 911 and they told me the human rights violations are not considered an emergency. So I phoned 311 to find out, is that true? Because that's got to change if human rights violations are not considered an emergency in Toronto. Okay. Okay. So for that inquiry, you can either speak with the Human Rights Office or
I already called them. They're not there right now. It isn't happening right now.
Okay. So if the police said it's not an emergency, they do have a non-emergency police line where you can speak with an officer. So I can transfer you over to them.
But how do I address the current emergency?
Right. Yeah. You can speak with them.
But it's not an emergency.
But
that number, it's not supposed to be an emergency.
Exactly.
But I'm saying it is an emergency. I'd be calling the wrong number. Wouldn't that be breaking the law by calling non-emergency about an emergency?
No. I'm saying if you've already contacted Toronto Police and they're saying it's not an emergency, then you would speak with the non-emergency police line to let them know, and then they would be able to direct your call. Right? I don't want to advise you to contact 911 again to be told the same thing.
I understand that much, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so I can transfer you over.
It's dishonest to phone non-emergency about an emergency.
Mm-hmm. I understand your concern, I do. But yeah, that would be the department that you would need to speak to about this.
Okay, I'll call them. Are you recording this call? I want to log a formal complaint about the city violating human rights.
Yeah, all of these calls are recorded.
Okay, but is there like an official form for human rights violations or something? Do we have one for that yet? Because we're going to need one at this rate.
Mm-hmm. Okay, 1 second here. Okay. Okay. Did you want me to just to transfer you over for you to at least speak with them first to see what will happen? Because I mean, you would have to speak with them, right, to see if what they're able to do.
I mean, realistically, they're not going to do anything, and the complaint might, because it could cause a lawsuit. Is my thinking?
Mm-hmm. Okay. So what I'll do is, I'll have you speak with Toronto Police, non-emergency police line.
Okay.
And then we'll take it from there. Hopefully everything can be resolved. Okay. Just one
moment.
Well,
I have a feeling they'll disconnect me. Where do I call back afterwards?
Okay. Yeah, but we don't know that, right? So
honestly, I do. I feel like they're not going to like what I have to say, regardless, despite it being the truth and being honest. And they're going to disconnect me for being honest. And then I'm going to have to talk to you again. And so how do I reach you?
Okay, you would be able to get to me directly. Just give me 1 second. I'm just seeing if there's another step here. Just 1 second.
Yeah, if you can email me a number that I can call back after. I'm en route right now to Lamport, so I don't have paper.
Lamport? Okay, it's okay. 1 second here. Okay, so the City of Toronto, does have a human rights office. Is that the number? You said you've contacted. Is this the one that you've called?
Probably.
392.
Well, they just transferred me because I'm on my bike.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't write the number down.
That's okay. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll give you the number. Or you said you're writing, right? You're not able to.
Can you just email me the number?
I cannot send out an email.
Yeah, that's another thing I have to phone in about at some point, why people can't send emails.
Okay. Yeah, I wouldn't be able to send out an email with the number. But once you're able to, I mean, you can go onto the City of Toronto website.
Yeah, I can look it up. But I'm trying to get something done right now.
Okay. Yeah, so you can go onto the City of Toronto website and just type in Human Rights Office, and then should be there. Okay? So I'll transfer you over right now.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. One moment.
Toronto Police.
Oh, hello? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Hi.
Hi, I'm phoning because I was transferred here from the person I was talking to at the city. I'm phoning to complain about the ongoing human rights violation at Lamport Stadium.
All right. I will put you through to communications and look
Okay.
for information.
Okay, thank you.
You have reached the Toronto Police Communications Center. All operators are busy assisting other callers. Your call will be answered by the next available operator. All operators are busy assisting other callers. If you are calling to have a parking enforcement officer dispatched, please be advised that for your convenience, parking complaints can now be made online at www.tps.on.ca/CORE. That's CORE. Select immediate parking complaint and follow the instructions on the webpage. If you wish to report online, please hang up now. If you are calling with regards to city-related services, such as animal complaints or noise complaints, please hang up and dial 311. If you are calling to report fraud or theft, including theft from vehicles under $5,000, damage to property or vehicles under $5,000 that is not related to a collision, neighborhood traffic issues, concerns, graffiti, or theft of gas from a gas station, these reports can be completed online at www.tps.on.ca/CORE. That's CORE. If you would like to report online, please hang up now. All of our operators are busy assisting other callers. The next available operator will assist you. All operators are busy assisting other callers. If you are calling to have a parking enforcement officer dispatched, please be advised that for your convenience, parking complaints can now be made online at www.tps.
Communications.
Hi, I was transferred to this number from 311. I called them in, well, transferred to them before that, but I'm phoning to complain about the ongoing human rights violation at Lamport Stadium right now. The city passed a human rights approach to encampments. I don't think they're obeying their own motion right now.
Mm-hmm.
They told me to talk to you guys.
Okay, we should have police officers down there right now. Are you at Lamport Stadium?
I'm on my way.
Okay.
The police have violated human rights previously yesterday at Alexandra Park and at Trinity Bellwood 3 weeks before. 4 weeks, whatever it was. City Council said that they voted on it and said we're going to take a human rights approach. I believe they are violating that vote.
Okay, contrary to the law. Yeah, there's police officers present there, so if you're headed down there, you can speak to them when you get there.
Well, I want a paper trail for this complaint. I want to file a complaint. They're not going to do anything. I already talked to the police officers who were present yesterday. They're not going to do anything. I have to file an actual human rights complaint. And I'll go to the UN if this doesn't work.
Okay, what is your name, please?
Adam Golding, ADAMGOLDING.
Okay, what's the phone number you're calling from?
647-909-2109. If you want to know if anybody calls back, please leave a message. I screen my phone calls.
Okay, I can file
And so, is there what is the proper method? You know, the proper law-abiding method to say the police are not really upholding the law because of what City Council voted on? Because I can't really talk to my councilor about it at this point. They already voted on this shit and they're doing it.
Okay, that I'm not sure of. That's why I'm advising if you go down there to speak to the police officers.
Well, they're not going to know there, man. They're not going to know there, man. They're just going to keep saying we got to do a job to do here, which is like arguably fair enough. But I'm trying to go beyond that. They've got a job to do. I have a moral job to do this.
I understand. Yeah, I mean, I'm not down there, so I really don't know what the answer to your question is, unfortunately.
No, it's not specific to. Okay, suppose I'm phoning a complaint of human rights violations yesterday at Alexandra Park.
Mm-hmm.
What's the process for that?
Okay, what specifically is a human rights violation?
People's belongings are being destroyed by the police. For one thing, people were assaulted. I mean, someone was assaulted at Bellwood. The whole approach to housing is not in keeping with human rights. Housing is a human right.
Okay, yeah, I understand that. Okay, let me put you through to 14, and then you can speak to the police officer there. Hold on.
Hi, I've been transferred from communications to transfer from 311. I was transferred from 311. I'm phoning to complain about the ongoing human rights violations at Lamport Stadium, similar to the other encampment evictions. City passed a human rights approach to encampments, and I believe they're violating their own motion passed by the democratically elected representatives. So this is contrary to a democratic state.
Mm-hmm. Well, sir, calling the station here isn't the right place to be calling for that.
Well, the Human Rights Office is not answering, but this is happening right now.
Okay, well, I can't take your human rights complaint about the way the police are behaving. That's going to have to be through the. I cannot. That's going to have to be through the Human Rights Commission. Probably the people that you're calling and not answering right now.
Yeah, well, I mean, I was also informed that human rights violations are not considered an emergency in Toronto. Can you confirm whether that's true or false?
Well, it all depends, sir.
What does it depend on?
Sir, if you'd like to call your complaint, you're calling the right number, okay?
Yes.
Yeah, so I would keep on that. I can't take your complaint for that.
You're saying the human rights number is the right number?
Yeah, sure.
This is not the right number.